What is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday. It's cut down day. The Bills trimmed the roster down to 53, and I got my people in the building with me to break this roster down, talk a little Matt Araiza situation, and just honestly go chit chat. The season's almost here, but let me introduce everybody. Got my guy as normal, James Mallory, like we like to call him, the NFL pedigree. Like, what's going on, James?
What's up, everybody? Excited to get after it today. We down at 53, so it's gonna be an interesting show, man. I'm ready.
That's it. Guy needs no introduction. Muki Hawkins, Bills beat reporter. Mook. Busy day, bro.
You can say that again.
Busy day. And down at the bottom of the screen, if you don't know her, get to know her. Now, my friend Sara Larson here was the one that who did the reporting you last year, because you traveled to every single game.
Yeah, Buffalo News did the report on me. Catherine Fitzgerald. She did a nice little article based on all the games that I went to. It was pretty cool. I was definitely humbled. I wasn't expecting it, but had a lot of fun, and I'm getting ready for next week. I'm looking forward to it. 9 days. Opening.
Are you traveling every single game this year too?
I am booked right now through Thanksgiving. Honestly, if I make it through Thanksgiving, there's no way I'm not going to finish out the season. The only one that's got me stumped right now is going to New England on the Thursday night, but I think I'm going to do it again. My next goal is to do all the stadiums. I don't really, doing a season again's cool, but my next goal is all the stadiums.
Well, if you do, I may join in, because that's right down the street from me, right there to New England.
Yeah.
That's right down in Patriot country. But if you guys don't get to know her, you will, because she'll be on the show a little bit more regularly. I think we'll have her on, and Sara knows her football, so you better come with your pen and your pads. So, moving forward, obviously the Bills cut down to 53 today. The biggest surprise to most, maybe some of you, was not a surprise, was the release of the free agent we signed in offseason, tight end O.J. Howard. Now, obviously with this move, I was talking to Sara about this before the show began, and I think we came to the cap number. We think that's $3 million dead.
It's a little over. Yeah, it's 2.6 this year and 625,000 next year.
Now, Mook, the Bills, was this a surprise? I mean, he didn't obviously do camp. You heard the reports. He didn't look good. Obviously, when you played the Denver game, they were trying to get him up to speed. He played well into the fourth quarter, which is never a good sign for a veteran in the preseason. What's the rumblings down there for One Bills Drive of how this happened, why this happened, and how much did it factor in the great play of Quentin Morris?
Everybody want to make it like the battle was between Quentin Morris and O.J. Howard. I'm still baffled about so Tommy Sweeney beat O.J. Howard. Was it that bad that Tommy Sweeney beat O.J. Howard out? I don't know. Everybody has different football eyes on things, and to me, it was a surprise, because you figure you paying a guy $3 million guaranteed money, that guy's gonna make your team. And we know he's the number 2 tight end, but you got a bona fide number 2 tight end in OJ. Okay, yeah, he did have some bad practice days and stuff like that, but that's gonna come along. Get some familiarity with new team, chemistry with your quarterback. You're still coming off in that Achilles tear, but. I just didn't think that the Bills would be in the business of wasting money. So that's why I thought he would definitely get a chance to develop, and make sure that money was well spent before they just released him. We paid the guy $3 million for 5 months. We paid him $3 million for 5 months, and we could have cut Trent Murphy. We paid Trent Murphy $8 million just to be a locker room guy. Trent Murphy, $8 million, and they could have saved $8 million if they would have cut him, but they didn't cut him. Barely played. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm confused. So that's the only reason. I mean, he wasn't having the greatest camp, but still to the point where I mean, put it to you this way. There's no knock to Tommy Sweeney, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if we play and pick up, and it come down to Sweeney or RJ Howard, who are you going to pick?
Picking the juice.
I mean, 31 other teams are going to probably have the same weight. But, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's a different type of football eyes. Maybe the Bills had higher expectations for the guy to be something that, you know, obviously he couldn't handle in their eyes or something. I just feel that, you know, that you bring him in for all his contract being fully guaranteed for the year, just alone guarantee you a spot on the roster. And we know that, you know, it's a learning curve. We want you to hit that as soon as you get here and then be ready for the season. So that was the surprise that I took from it. You know what I mean?
Sarah.
I was just going to say, is there an opportunity that we think we might bring him back? Because, I mean, that was some rumblings around Twitter today, is that it could be one of those cuts that, you know, is temporary. I don't know if it's true or not.
I mean, I thought about the same thing too, but he still gets the guaranteed money. You know what I mean? So it's like pointless. So you're gonna double pay him. We're gonna cut you, pay you $3 million, and then we're gonna bring you back probably on, let's say, a veteran minimum of $1.1 million. So you get a raise for being cut. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I just didn't understand that. That struck me as.
James, this was a guy that when we brought OJ Howard in, we were both under the understanding that possibly if Dawson Knox outplayed himself in Buffalo, starts having another great year where they can't afford to bring him back, that OJ Howard may be the guy that steps in line to be able to take over if Dawson Knox was not retained.
Yes.
He's cut through camp.
I was terribly wrong about two things. One, Tavon Austin. Two, OJ Howard having a big year. You know, it was a shocker, but when I seen him playing late in those preseason games, that was red flags for me. I mean, this dude played to the last snap. And then if he's going to be a number two, usually probably don't want to risk him being hurt, right? But then again, I sat there and thought about how things happen behind the scenes. So I think, was there a situation where, you know, they bring him in and say, okay, you may be inactive some Sundays. There may be Sundays where you're inactive. We play 17 games. There may be 4 to 6 games where you're inactive, a healthy scratch. Is that something you're okay with? And maybe he asked for a release. Maybe. There are situations like that where guys not okay with a role. Like, you know what? I'm not okay with that. So instead of dealing with that and somebody that's maybe not okay with the role, you do them a favor and let them go. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's possible. Because it's kind of weird. The Bills usually don't waste money. If they got somebody that guaranteed money, that player's usually going to be on the roster unless he just start. You know, they had a star year, Star Latule.
Oh man, don't go there.
No, seriously. You know, last year was just, and I was a star guy, but that's another story. But anyway,
that's a whole other story.
Yeah. So I look at it like, hey, did they have a conversation? It's like, okay, this is your role. You're going to have a smaller role than we anticipated when we brought you in. Mm-hmm. You may be a healthy scratch X amount of games, depending on the matchup. We may dress Sweeney instead of you. We may dress whatever the case may be. Right. So are you okay with that, or would you prefer your release? Hey, I prefer my release. That could have been the situation.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because to that point, when we go back to a situation that was sort of similar to this last year, Jacob Hollister. Remember, there was a situation with Hollister where they did ask him to take a practice squad spot or a limited role, and Hollister did ask for his release. So you may not be too far off base with that. Personally, that's probably one of the moves I'm disappointed in, Because, like I said, going back to your point, Mookie, if I'm playing a pickup game and I'm going to take OJ Howard or Tommy Sweeney, no disrespect to Tommy Sweeney, I'm definitely going to take OJ Howard. I mean, hands down. I was willing to give him 4 weeks within the season to get himself right and get himself in shape and get himself acclimated to this offense, rather than just cut him and take the dead money. I think the other aspect is you got a team in Miami in your division who maybe or may not be looking to trade Mike Gesicki. Now you've given the team in your division an opportunity to grab someone like OJ Howard. New England, we know how they do with tight ends. I think we have to take that into consideration as well. The Jets. There's multiple teams in your division that could use OJ Howard. But if it's just getting up to speed. Now, mind you, if he didn't just grasp anything, then fine. Let him go. I get it. But when I saw that release, I said, okay, at this point, we're going to keep 2 tight ends on this roster. We're going to keep Dawson Knox, and we're going to keep Quentin Morris. And I want to make sure we give Quentin Morris his due. This guy earned his damn spot on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
He earned his spot. I think I told you, James, when I went to camp, and Mookie, you can attest to this, one of the first guys on the field at camp every single morning, and one of the last guys off the field. He earned his keeps there. But I assumed that when I saw OJ Howard cut, that it would be 2 tight ends on this roster, Dawson Knox and Quentin Morris. Seeing 3 in Tommy Sweeney, I'm a little disappointed. Sarah, you want to add anything to this?
Well, I think that, it's a good opportunity, though, just in case someone gets injured. But I think that Tommy Sweeney will be inactive every week. I think that he will be one of the people that is not on the, the active game day roster. So, you keep somebody just in case. And, there's still going to be a lot of changes to this 53-man roster right now. We're going to have to cut somebody, or put somebody on IR, probably Stevenson, in order to get a punter. And then we got, quite a few people on the offensive line that are nicked up right now. But when Ike comes back, then, I have a feeling we'll get rid of either Hart or Van Rotten. So all that stuff's going to happen. I don't think that Sweeney I think Morris more so than Sweeney, but I don't think Sweeney should get comfortable. I don't think his spot's necessarily safe, especially mid-season if, they find a shiny, new object that they want.
Yeah, I agree. Mook, you got something to add to it before we move on from OJ Howard? No? We got nothing.
It's bad. I don't like it.
I'm with you, man. I had high hopes. I know James had high hopes. I mean, I thought that OJ Howard was going to be at number 2 tight end.
I mean, the star power of it all. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's the star power of it. Like, damn, like, how are we going to stop OJ Howard, Dawson Knox, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, James Cook? How are we going to stop those guys? You know what I mean? Like, it's just that star power. Like, it's like you got to watch out for a guy.
That's all it is. To be honest, if you kind of look at that film, the way he is getting in and out of some of them breaks,
bad.
I'm like, homie, that's all it is right now is star power until he get healthy or whatever he got going on.
What do you think it was? Do you think that he's not healthy because he came off the ACL injury? What was it, the year before last year?
Towards Achilles.
Okay. And how long is that recovery time?
Everybody differs. You had old boy came back 6 months last year and was balling. What's the
Cam Akers? Cam Akers.
Akers came back and was balling. So that one I'm not too sure on, but I mean he just didn't look at times. And Mookie would know more better than I because he was at practices things like that. But just sometimes I'm seeing in the game he had that pop I was used to seeing.
Yeah.
He had some bad practices, like some bad drops, and that was just early on in training camp, But I mean, I'll put it to you like this: could you isolate Tommy Sweeney 1-on-1 in the red zone like the Bills did OJ Howard, and Tommy Sweeney win that battle that we just saw OJ Howard do easily? That's all I'm saying. I saw OJ Howard make plays out there. I didn't see OJ Howard just like miss a blocking assignment. I mean, now this is really going to force me to go back and watch the tape because I really want to see this because this is bothering me a little bit. I just don't like this move. I
think it's more on him though. If I'm a betting man, I had to bet in Vegas. I'm willing to bet it was a thing where they sat down and his role wasn't what he thought it would be. And let's be honest, if you're the number 10 pick you a top 10 pick in the draft, it's ego that come with that. So if somebody tells you you're not going to play, you're not playing 40% of the snaps or whatever that number is, ego with that, man. Somebody else assign you.
which
He
is
was
why he
brought
just
in-
left Tampa.
Yeah, but he was brought in knowing that he was going to be behind Dawson, and we already have a huge wide receiving corps, so he already knew he was going to have a reduced role. So I don't know if I liked that part of it. Like I think that he just didn't perform. But $3 million to basically sign somebody to come and practice with you, kind of, it just shocks me that the Bills let him go. I really think that they could have just held on to him for a little bit. I figure that the money that they're paying, regardless, to have him stay and let Sweeney go would have been smarter. I really do. I had him on my 53, and I had Morris over Sweeney. So
For that $3 million, you could have gave Poyer an extension with that $3 million
Yeah.
could have helped with Dawson Knox's new extension. That $3 million could have, maybe we, give it to Tremaine Edmonds. That $3 million could have,
In a lot of places.
Singletary a 1 more year extension. That $3 million, and you add probably 1 or 2 more with that, could easily sign OBJ for 1 season. So I can't put my head around them giving somebody guaranteed money for 5 months. That's my thing. Like, and it didn't look that bad to the point where you got to do something like that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I do want to answer one of the questions where you said around the goal line, could Tommy Sweeney win that one-on-one matchup around the goal line like we just saw OJ Howard do in that Denver Bronco game? And my answer is I don't think he could, but Quentin Morris probably could, which is why I think Quentin Morris is definitely your number 2 tight end moving forward. And who knows, once again, if Quentin Morris shows up and shows out, we can revisit that conversation me and James had about if Dawson Knox prices himself out of Buffalo, maybe Quentin Morris is your next Antonio Gates type of guy. You never know.
they're going to draft someone next year. They'll draft somebody.
Because everybody's contract is up. Dawson contract is up. Quentin Morris contract is up. Tommy Sweeney contract is up.
Yeah.
But Quentin Morris will be what's that, exclusive rights for agent. He's not going nowhere.
No, he can't.
I don't think he'll be our starter. I think we'll draft somebody.
Yeah. What's that? And like I said, we have to be a little bit critical because this is what we do, right? We have to question things. But believe us, and being we trust, we're not bashing. There to be, we have a Super Bowl caliber team, and I can't even say. I mean, last time we had a Super Bowl caliber team, I was running around in Hanes tidy whities, shooting Nerf guns. So I'm not gonna question the man too much on it. But this move kind of questioned me. If there was outside of that. Was there any more moves that caught you guys' eye today? Because I know for me, I said I was on Kumaro Hodgins' watch. That's what I was on all day. That's the one that was the battle I probably keyed in on all preseason. But Matt, I'll come to you first. Was there any other surprises that you saw or battles that you thought may go one way and it didn't?
The Kumaro Hodges thing, that's just the obvious one. I think we all were watching that, right?
Yeah.
But Nick McLeod being cut, that really surprised me.
Yeah.
That one really surprised me. I thought he was going to make the team. I thought he should have made it over Cam Lewis because his versatility, how versatile he is. That one got me. I know they'll probably bring him back if he's not claimed. But that one kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be claimed though, so I think we'll end up getting him back. I was gonna say, I mean, I had Hodgins on my 53. I wanted him. I think I was trying to speak it into existence a little bit. I know Kumaro is huge on special teams, and McDermott's already said over and over again, you got to be able to play special teams if you're a depth player. But I really didn't think that they wanted Hodgins to get out on the market because I do think he'll get claimed. I don't want to say fingers crossed he doesn't. But I'd like to see him back. But my biggest thing was I was actually very surprised that they kept both Bobby Hart and Van Rotten. But I said this morning that once they cut Howard, I said that they were either going to try to, keep Blackshear somehow, or it was because of the offensive line, because of Doyle still being hurt. So, I mean, I was kind of right about it, but I'm still kind of surprised that they kept both. But one of them will be gone sooner rather than later with when Ike comes back.
You know, and my guy Backbone 5 says, Mike Back says, McLeod got interviewed in the locker room, was acting like he thought he made the 53.
Yeah.
So maybe he was actually a late decision to say, okay, you know what, we can't do this right now. I was on the McLeod train with you, James. Like I said, I thought it was going to come down to McLeod, Taiwan Jones, or Hodgins for that extra gunner or special team spot. I didn't think they would keep all three of them. So, Mook, anything surprise you? Besides OJ Howard.
OJ Howard. I thought the Bills were going to keep 7 receivers. You know, due to that fact alone, I think Hodgins had a pretty solid training camp. I think he had a pretty good training camp, and you know, I thought that he did enough to earn a spot on the 53. The questions with Kumaro is the special teams, and you know, that familiarity with that. So you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess the Bills are sticking to their guns with that. You know, guys, so the continuity and the familiarity is pretty much superseding the fresh faces. You know what I mean? If those fresh faces can't, you know, get caught up or catch up, then I gotta go with a guy that I can trust, knows my stuff, gonna run it how I need it to be ran. And you know, sometimes those are just deciding factors of it. Bobby Hart made this roster. Nobody's talking about Bobby Hart.
Wait, which one of you guys said it? One of you guys said they would take it as a hot take. Was it Mallory? Mallory, was that your hot take that said hot take?
I said at the beginning of camp that Bobby Hart was gonna make the roster.
We gotta go find that film. We gotta put that out. That's the point.
Experience, man. You're not a bad football player. You get like 30 starts or whatever it is in the NFL. Like, you know, he's not that bad. You know, I mean, then he looked good at guard, to be honest with you.
No, yes. All right.
Hey,
Bobby Hart got to get one of these, man. Give Bobby Hart. You got to get a round of applause, man. Like I said, Bobby took a lot of flack, man. Bobby took a lot of flack. He did. Bobby took a lot of flack, but
he wasn't like Jordan Mills, man. That was the worst offense.
So OJ Howard had a training camp like Bobby Hart had the first 2 years.
But those two totally different situations, though. You can't be clear.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, some things are obvious. Like, you a fourth tight end? Like, I need counseling right now. But
I don't think it's that. I think it's more what else you bring. I mean, if OJ Howard's on the field, what value does he bring? Right? If you got Tommy Sweeney or you got Morris, they're going to be able to contribute some. You're not putting OJ Howard running him down on the kickoff team. You're not going to have him on your kick return team. That's just not realistic. Could you put him on there? Yeah. But I mean, the man probably never played special teams in his life.
So
never do that now. I think it's a little bit different.
You could tell no one's ever put him in harm's way before he get hurt because he's always been a major asset. To your point, I just want to take one step back before I actually want to talk about why I feel like Bobby Hart actually made this team. About the Kumaro Hodges. Now, personally, I know we went back and forth on this show plenty of times, and I'm not gonna lie, Isaiah Hodges made it really, really tough for people to not put him on their 53. And kudos to that kid for the camp that he had and the improvements that he's made in his game, because it was evident, right? I'd be shocked if he's not on somebody's 53-man roster come week 1 or week 2. I'd be shocked at it because I thought he showed that much improvement. Just so happens this team is deep, and when it comes down to Kumaro has been a starting receiver in this league. So it's not like this is an Andre Roberts special team situation. It's a guy who, he can be a gunner, but he can also be a part of your offense, and I think that's ultimately what just kind of separated them. It was that gap right there. So, but yeah, kudos to Isaiah Hodgins, and selfishly, I love to say I love to have him back on the practice squad, but I really don't, because I want him to have a job on one of these teams because he's earned it and he's deserved it. So I don't want to be too selfish there.
You know what he about to get paid on it? If they bring him back on the practice squad, you know how much he about to get paid. You know how much he about to, if he come back, if he clears waivers, do you know that dude he's gonna make more than dudes on the active roster making. They're gonna pay that dude. If he comes back, they're gonna pay him. Somebody else gonna offer much. Because there's no salary cap on the practice squad. You can pay a practice squad player $1 million a week if you want. That's not like what,
Yeah.
but there's no cap on the practice squad. So that dude about to get paid, man.
Yeah.
You
And then
got
they'll
something
just
else there?
protect him. I was gonna say, and they'll protect him every week if that's the case. They'll bring him on, they'll pay him, and they'll protect him if he clears waivers. So
Yeah.
I
You
mean, there's part
you
of me
think he's
that's
gonna clear?
I don't think he's going to clear. I think that, if it's not somebody like, the Giants or freaking the Patriots or something, someone's going to poach him. But, we have another 12, no, a little bit more, 18 hours before we have to figure all that out. So I'm hoping he does clear. I actually was hoping that it's terrible to say it now because he made it. I know he's going to be moved to IR, but I was actually hoping we cut Stevenson and then kind of left that position for, Hodgins to be put on IR for a little bit and kind of stored for 4 weeks, at the very least. So I just don't see right now what Stevenson can contribute. I wasn't all that impressed. I know he's only had a year to really show us, but and then the injury bug hit him this summer, but I wasn't a fan of letting go Hodgins. So
James actually brought that up earlier on the phone. You brought up the fact that they did that Hodgins year one, and you were getting Quentin. You said you were getting Hodgins vibes this morning when you said Quentin Morris left practical injury if they were going to IR him for the season.
Put on what we got going here.
But no, it's got me. Other than that, really too many shocks. I mean, I like to see Balin Spector make the roster. I didn't think we were going to keep that many cornerbacks. I guess I thought we were going to be one less cornerback, but. Outside of that, it's no real surprise. And I do think Bobby Hart made this roster for the simple fact that he can play left guard at this point, right guard, right tackle, and God willing, I mean, you don't want him to play left tackle. But if you do need somebody, he can. I'm just saying, you don't want him there. But
we had JT stop. We had Jordan Mills starting here for multiple.
That was a different era of football.
Dude, if I lived through Jordan Mills, I can live through anything.
He just got cut too. He just got cut in San Fran, right?
Time out.
He's still in the league.
Mookie, I'm done.
Today.
Mookie, I'm about to log off the show.
Got cut today.
I gotta confirm this because I didn't know he was still in the league.
Peterman had a job up until today,
Mookie,
so come on.
Please tell me you're joking,
baby.
Please tell me Mookie's joking with me. You talking about John Miller or Jordan Mills?
Jordan Mills.
So can someone confirm this?
Turnstile, the original Turnstile. Now, Bobby Hart was Turnstile Jr. That guy's the original Turnstile.
Oh man, bro, no way.
Ask Khalil Mack.
I gotta.
That's
confirm.
the whole league.
Oh, the 49ers did sign him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, a few dollars.
Man, keep collecting, Jordan. Hats off, keep collecting. But no,
I'm done, y'all.
That's insane. That's insane. One of the before we go, if you're watching the show, please like and share it, and so other people can join in for week to week. But this is the Bills' full cut list today. If you guys have not seen it, Matt Barkley, who'll probably practice squad, offensive lineman Greg Mans, offensive lineman Luke Tanetta, offensive lineman Alec Anderson. Preseason favorite this year was Christian Wade the previous other years, and last year Hodges, this year's Raheem Blackshear, Duke Johnson, who'll probably back Tanner Gentry, Isaiah Hodges, OJ Howard, Mike Love, Kingsley Jonathan, Brandon Bryant, Prince Emily, CJ Brewer, Joe Giles Harris, Nick McLeod, and DeMarcus Ingram. And Eli Anku got released with an injury settlement. Tre'Davious White is on the PUP list along with Ike Bodiger, and Andre Smith is on the reserve suspended list. So those are your moves for today for your Buffalo Bills.
Can I ask everybody a question?
You got what's going on?
Out of that list we all just saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think the Giants is going to call first?
Nick McLeod.
Which one on that list?
I was gonna say Blackshear, but I actually think he's gonna clear waivers now that I hear more people say it. But I mean, Hodgins is definitely, what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Because he has familiarity with Daboll.
Yeah, I mean, Daboll loves him. I guess, but they're trying to trade a receiver right now because they're kind of stacked there. I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna go. Who's their tight end right now? I don't know who their tight end right now
The
is.
Giants?
Yeah.
Oh no, they traded.
They had Evan Ingram, but
Yeah, they had
Evan
Ingram.
Ingram
He went to
resigned to
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah,
So they had to
Right.
get a tight end. Didn't they just draft one?
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna go Nick. I'm gonna go with James. I'm gonna go Nick McLeod if they're gonna take somebody.
He got claimed last year, right?
But the Bengals took him last year.
He got claimed last year. He didn't make it through waivers last year.
I'm gonna assume that Joe Schoen wants to build a special teams core just like they did in Buffalo. So I'm gonna go Nick McLeod on that. I'm gonna go Nick McLeod as well on that.
James, who
So.
you going with?
That's what I said. I said Nick McLeod.
Nick McLeod? I'm going to say Mike Love.
I was just.
You know what?
I literally. am
That
looking
makes
at
a lot of
this.
sense.
I'm
That's a
like
good
Mike
one.
Love.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mike
loved it.
Love for years
They
has
all loved
always
him.
be having great camps. We just overlooked because he's behind 9 other damn guys. And again, he had a great preseason. Nobody's talking about. And you know what happened to Kayvon Thibodeau over there.
Yeah,
that's
that makes a
cool.
lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. That's good. That's good. I didn't think about that. Mike Love, once again, another guy who's come from the culture that you're leaving, that you're trying to instill new franchise. Makes a lot of sense. You know, we used to see the big tuna, Bill Parcells. He used to take people like Dave Megan and Pepper Johnson and Tom Toop everywhere he went and instill culture. So it makes a lot of sense. But also, I got a quick announcement. If you guys have not been living under a rock and you don't actually follow me, you just watch this show from time to time. We have released that the Mafia Homecoming Party date will be, the third annual Mafia Homecoming Party will be Friday, October 7th at our new home at Resurgence Brewing from 6 to 11 p.m. And we also released the fact that it's going to be our special guest host this year is going to be former Pro Bowl center Eric Wood. Those tickets are now on sale. You can check in the caption of this show. And Actually, you know what? I actually have something pretty special for you guys. I'm gonna put on the screen and in the chat in a second. But I'll give you a couple of details. The party's gonna be 6 to 11. It's gonna be 4 hours open bar. We'll have food. We'll have some entertainment. It's gonna be fun. If you've been to the first two ones, you know that we usually have a pretty damn good time. So make sure you guys get out, check those texts for those tickets, and start buying them because there's only 50 VIP tickets available for this event. So just letting you guys give you a heads up. And people are already
Play
asking.
that week.
Pittsburgh, that's Pittsburgh week. Our first home game on a Sunday because our schedule's so wonky at the beginning. So, either way, I'm gonna put this on the chat. I actually have a promo code for you guys if you guys want to get 10% off on your ticket purchase up until Friday at midnight. Here is your promo code. That promo code is, oh, nope, that ain't it. Bigger, Better Buffalo. That is your promo code for 10% off any ticket. Bigger, Better Buffalo. Look at James. He already looking down. He probably putting in. He always looking for a bargain. But moving on to a less easy topic to talk about, and I want to talk about this, especially with having Sarah on the show as being a female, and obviously this Matt Araiza situation that we all kind of got smacked in the face with this week as Bills fans. A lot of emotions with this, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anger, a lot of rehashing for a lot of women. You know, it's never easy when you have to release a player, especially a player that young, and especially a player that projected to be as great as he may have been. But just the situation, I think we've come a long way from the days of because you're an athlete, you're protected, and you can do whatever you want to do and kind of get away with it, as it was in the Paul Tagliabue's NFL. You know, so obviously, we know that Matt Araiza was accused of a gang rape incident when he was at San Diego State with a 17-year-old girl. Obviously, all the details have not come out for it, or details have come out, but their details are nothing is actually factual. And the Bills had to cut him. I almost felt bad, and I put on my Twitter that I had a tear for Coach Sean McDermott the other day on that podium the night after the Carolina game because you could see the pain on his face. And I know a lot of people were kind of getting on the beat reporters and things like that for asking him questions, but they're just doing their job. They have to ask these questions, what they get paid to do. I felt bad for him, not because for some reason people were saying the Bills tried to cover it up, and I don't believe that one time. I felt bad for him because I saw a parent on that podium, a parent that realized that this is a 21-year-old kid who life may be ruined, and there's a 18-year-old girl out there now who may also be scarred and ruined. Had nothing to do with football. It had nothing to do with football at all. With his emotions on that podium, and I want to get your take on it, Sarah, just from a woman's standpoint. Like, we've heard about these things, especially on college campuses, all the time, and now that in the era of social media, nothing is kind of hitting anymore. Just from your standpoint, what did you think about this whole situation and kind of how the Bills handled it and just everything around it?
Right. Well, I mean, I did a lot of research on it. I've read everything. I've listened to everything. I watched interviews. I'm almost a little tired of talking about it at this point, because it's been such a topic for every conversation nowadays. But and to think about it, it's not even a week old, and it's just ridiculous to think about. For the most part, I don't want it to ever sound like I have made him guilty already, but I did not want him on the team. I was right from the moment. He's a rookie punter. There is no reason why I wanted this, dark cloud over the team at this point. I said the second it came out, I said, let him go. I've tried to remain very neutral in everything that I've read, because, it's unfortunate. He is a young kid. If he did not do this, then I hope to God he gets a chance at having a job somewhere else. A lot of people come back and forth and say, well, he did admit to, having sex with an underage girl. And then the other side of it, people are saying, well, she lied about her age, and she said that she went to Grossman College, not Grossmont High School. So it goes back and forth. I just know that, personally speaking, when I was younger, I went through something similar, and I was very lucky that I had somebody there who cared enough to make sure it didn't get to that point. But I just didn't think he needed to be on the team, and I'm glad that we cut him. I wish that it wouldn't have taken 24 hours, but I mean, they had the information that they had, and I think I said it on another conversation that they don't really owe us an explanation as fans, right from the beginning. But I wish that it would have came out a little bit that there was an incident that they were researching and going through, so that we weren't all kind of slapped across the face with all this. But I do believe that McDermott didn't know everything. I can see the pain when he had his press conference. I actually texted Muki and said, your question broke him. But it needed to be said. It needed to be asked. He asked about the culture in the locker room at this point in time, and you can see how much it affected him. So I'm just glad I can say that I'm proud that the Bills handled it the way they did eventually. I don't necessarily like the path that it took to get there, but I'm just glad that the end result was what it was. But Matt he has a whole bunch of free time on his hands to go and fight these charges if it's not true. But I'm kind of going to stick with women and say you got to believe the woman. And as much as men don't want to hear that, most women don't come forward because of the stigma that is surrounding them coming forward. And then they get, slut shamed, and they, say that they're trying to, make a buck. The guy was going to make $3 million over 4 years. I don't see what, how much, of a money grab it could have been realistically. There's a lot of details if we, nitpicked at it all. I'm at this point in time, I'm glad it's over with for the Bills at this point. It's not over with for Matt. It's definitely not over with for the girl who was raped. But that was a brutal account. And if you read through any of the information, even in the end, if he wasn't in the room, he still admitted to, having sex with her, and her being 17, and she had an STD, or he had an STD, and like the way that he texted her about it, I'm just like, this is a piece of shit. Like, excuse my language.
Yeah, you good.
He could not be on the team, and I'll be very happy. And I was just glad that the next day they let it go.
Yeah.
So.
James, you want to add something to obviously being actually being a former NFL player and athlete yourself, obviously Sara has a perspective from women's, but then you also have a perspective from an athlete standpoint where you've been a part of things and you've seen things of sometimes things are true, some things are false. What did you think of this whole situation? You know what I mean, and kind of how the Bills handle it.
I've been, like Sara was talking, I haven't talked to anybody about this. I haven't brought literally, because it's not a football thing; it's a humanity thing. There's, people tying football with, these are people's lives, man. You know what I mean? This young lady went through, if he did it or not, she went through a tragic event. Something she's going to carry with her the rest of her life. And it has zero to do with football, right? If he is innocent, this is something he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life, because there's going to be people, if he proves that he didn't do it, there's going to be people who still think that he did it.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, he's guilty in some people's mind. No matter what the outcome, she could come on and say, I lied. And to some people, he's guilty, right? So it's very unfortunate. I look at it from so many different angles. I'm a father. I have a beautiful 5-year-old daughter, right? I look at it from that angle. I look at it from the victim's angle, Then I look at it from Sean Oakman's angle. I look at it from Brian Banks' angle. Oakman was going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Nobody talks about the impact that his situation had on him. If somebody was to interview him, I guarantee he went through some dark days, but everybody said he was guilty. Brian Banks, one of the top high school players in the country, was basically locked into the NFL. He went to prison for something he didn't do in regards to stuff like this. It's just such a tricky and it's just unfortunate all the way around. So I don't know how to feel. I haven't even read. I know nothing about it because I don't want to read it, because it's just so, I heard it's just graphic details. It's sickening, Somebody obviously raped this young lady. Whoever did it deserves to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Who did? I don't know. I don't. And I'm not about to play like I'm a judge, I'm the jury. I'm doing too much. You know what I mean? I'm not the guy, I'm not the person to make that decision, that judgment. I was in Buffalo, New York. They were in San Diego whenever this happened. So I got zero to do with it. So I'm not about to sit here and judge to say who did what and who didn't do what. I can tell you that. My daddy and my mama told me a long time ago, mind your own damn business. And in this situation, that's when I'm minding my business. And I'm praying for the families that's involved. I think, like I said, I think about it in so many different angles. She's a victim. But one thing we don't talk about is the victims of on the other side too, the Sean Oakmans and the Brian Banks. We don't talk about those though. And because both there are victims on both sides of these things. Yeah. Sucks. I think a rapist is one of the lowest human beings on earth. Let's get that out. But it just sucks, man. This sucks. This whole situation sucks.
Yeah. Mook, now obviously you asked Sean McDermott the question about it, and obviously I've saw other reporters mentioning about how much the Bills knew that they were that obviously we saw the reports from her attorney, Jane Doe's attorney, that July 31st had reached out to the Bills or some of the Bills representatives. Try to break some of this down a little bit for us if you can, of events, timeline, if the Bills knew, because to me, I still don't, to this day, I don't believe that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane actually knew what happened. I don't think most people did, personally.
Well, I can say we talked about it after the Broncos game. Us as media, what I mean? We were just, sometimes we do get together after games and powwow out a little bit, and it came up. It was like, oh shit, like where, like so. Everybody was just waiting to see when it comes out how the Bills were going to handle it, and a week later it comes out. So here we are in Carolina, and we was like, listen, that game, we ain't worried about that game. We ain't talking nothing about the game. We talking clearly about that. So nobody, if you ain't got a question to ask about that, don't ask a question. You know what I mean? And Jay just went off. Jay wasn't even, when we even said that, Jay just, man, Jay just went in. Then, all of us followed and, just trying to get it out there because we all know the PR answer that was going to come along with that. So we couldn't let Coach get off the hook. But I felt his pain up there too because I felt that he's in a tight spot. You know what I mean? And it absolutely has nothing to do with him other than I'm his football coach. But, as a football coach, you do build bonds with your players individually. And I do believe that they had a bond, and it was just that so unfortunate that, McDermott had to, hey, in this business, it's tough decisions. It's definitely tough decisions to make. I mean, but that really wasn't a tough decision. I just more or less think that it affected McDermott because I think that he felt that he was lied to when you really look at it. I mean, obviously, they caught wind of this late July. All right. They caught wind of that in late July. So, you're going to bring a reason in and say, hey, what's going on with this here? How did we miss this? And I get in about that in just a second too. How did we miss this? Like, why you didn't tell us about this? So, it's always two sides of the story. So you're going to take his word, what he said, and then, okay, well, then obviously this is going to come out eventually come out in the report. And how, like you said, JT was graphic, it was horrific. And there's just no place for it. There's just no place for it. Go ahead, take care of your issue. You got more than just football to worry about at this point. Right now, you just need to go ahead and take care of that issue, however it is. And, we wish you the best. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at. But how did it get past San Diego State? Everybody want to fault the Bills and stuff like that. They didn't respond. You gotta give an organization to do their due diligence on anything. And in the NFL, past the CIA and FBI are probably the most background checking this organization that you would believe. You know what I mean? So for that to slip through the cracks like how it did is one thing. So you got to say that San Diego State University Police Department covered that up quite well for it not to leak out, how it's just leaking right now. You know what I mean? So obviously there was a report. There was a report when it happened, so how did it get that far? I mean, they swept that under the rug at that college. Everybody. So before it gets on McDermott's lap, that's why the NFL didn't get involved. This was completely a Bills decision. This decision was totally up to the Bills. If the Bills didn't release Matt Araiza, Commissioner Goodell couldn't have did nothing about it. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. That incident happened before he stepped foot in the NFL. So it's either up to, police department in that area where it happened at or the organization that NFL player represents. So the Bills, I'm quite sure they got the call from the commission, be like, you got to clip him. And I'm quite sure that the commissioner sent a memo out to all the rest of the teams that nobody better not pick him up neither. You know what I mean? So that's just pretty much right now. That's just the end of it. That's just the end of it.
And and our only alternative thing that could have been done was if Matt Araiza came out himself and said, "Hey, please put me on the NFI list, the non-football injury list, and let me handle this." And even at that, the Bills still had to cut him because, like as Sarah said earlier, there's going to be a cloud following you. As long as he's on that roster, whether it's online, whether it's on paper, I don't care if he's away from the team. As long as his name is on that roster, there's going to be a problem. You know what I mean? There's going to be a cloud following you, period.
no matter what, he did it. So ain't no an exemption list, no list. He
Right.
did it. Like he did it. If he didn't do it, he knew something about it. So he's just as guilty. So
Right.
bad decision.
This whole
Bad decision cost you your career.
I'm just so uncomfortable even talking about it. It's just it's so messed up, man. Like,
Right.
this is a messed up situation. You know what I mean? Like this type of crime, like I'm just like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is has no place in our society. This crime is just ridiculous.
And James, you know, Mookie said something about not telling the truth, and we were talking the other day about this, where you said you kind of felt like they approached him about what's going on with this situation, and that maybe he actually lied to them. Because you said this the other day as well, that you felt like maybe he lied to them.
Yeah, he may have, man, and that's the last thing. I'm just very uncomfortable.
Or lie by omission. He didn't tell him everything, which still feels like a lie. So I think that that's probably the main part, is that he told them, you know, his version of the story, and then, you know, the report comes out with the civil suit that outlines all of the details, and of course they have to read through all that, and then they're like, wait a second, this account is very different than the account you gave us. And, you know, even if he says you know, it's not true, and I'm here to prove it, you know, that it's not true, his mind would have been on nothing this season. It would not have been on football, you know. And at one point I was like, if they don't cut him, they need to at least suspend him. And then I thought about it. We don't have enough cap room to do that, to be able to bring in another punter.
Right.
So we needed to make sure that we had him off the books too, to even just get a little bit of the money back. And now they can hopefully legally get everything back, but we'll see.
And actually, I don't think there would be a morality clause, because, like I said, it happened in college. So I think he's kind of untouchable by the CBA. So I mean, and I think they're going to end up losing. I think it's $166,000 what they're going to end up losing. I think dead with them, period. No, it's nothing.
Add 3 million to that now, so that's 3 million.
OJ Howard, he's still on that OJ Howard thing, man.
Yeah, we need a punter. We can use that money to, you know, go get a punter. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
but I guess, and this is my final point on this whole topic, right? So when I watched it and I saw people tweeting things out as if the Bills knew and they tried to sweep under the rug, two thoughts came to my mind, okay? First of all, what in the hell would give you the inclination that since Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have been here, that they would ever try to sweep something like this under the rug? There has been nothing in their character since the moment that they stepped to Buffalo that would say they're going to try to sweep this under the rug. Okay, we've gotten rid of good players, talented players for far less since the day they got here. So for you to bring their character into question like that, to me, I'm not having that. I think that's completely wrong and it's completely off base. The second part of it is, if they were going to try to do that, right? And this is just trying to think logically from a football standpoint. Oh, we don't want to get rid of this good player. He's so good. He's a freaking punter. Okay? And we have a $258 million quarterback. We have a $97 million receiver. We have a second receiver who's a stud. We have a tight end who's damn near on the fringe of going to Pro Bowls. And we have a three-headed monster at running back. And we just retooled the offensive line. I don't think we plan to be punting that much. Okay? So for people to sit here and try to act like they were going to try to sweep this under the rug for a freaking punter, please get real. Get real. Stop it. Nothing in his character have ever said that. And I'll die on that hill. And I don't know these guys personally. I've met Sean McDermott multiple times. I'll die on that hill for that. I will. Come on, just stop it. Stop it. That's craziness. It's craziness. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And specifically, specifically, I'm talking about John Worrell. I'll call his name. I'm talking about John Worrell specifically because I saw him put on Twitter the other day that he was inferring that they knew about the situation. I think they knew something of the situation, but I guarantee they didn't have all those facts. So I'm specifically talking about John Worrell.
They got the facts. They got the facts kind of. I mean, they got all the juicy details, kind of like when everybody else got it. You know, they didn't like they knew of it, and hey, they took this guy's word for it till more facts came. More facts came. It was very disturbing. They reacted to it. You just can't go. I can't go to you, Jeremy, and say, "Oh, one of your coworkers did this. I want you to fire him right now." You have to do some due diligence, right? You got. I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how the world works. You have to do your due diligence on it. You know, even I mean, what they say about the people at Tops, man. What did the DA say? He's innocent until proven guilty. We all know what we saw, right?
Right.
It is what it is. But let's just kill it to think the Bills was going to sweep something like that under the rug.
Come on, man.
The owner of the team is a woman.
Right.
I'm gonna leave it alone at that.
Right. Who's been advocating for women's rights since the day they got here?
Right.
We have that
is not going to slide in this organization.
We're one of the few teams in the league that has a diversity club where we talk about diverse issues inside the organization. And you mean they're going to sweep this on the road? Man, get out of here. Like I said, if you believe that, you're an idiot. If you believe that, you're an idiot, and I'll stand on that. And if you feel offended, you should, because you're stupid. So either way, moving on to a lighter topic. Let me change this, but I gotta get the dude off the board.
The world got you hyped up a little bit now. I know when you try to talk stuff to me, I know who to call now.
Oh man, John Worrell got me blocked, I think. But no, just on another note too. I just want to leave one more point about it. If I come to talk to you about something, and I'm Coach McDermott, I say, hey, Matt, there's something I want to know. We hear some reports about something happened at San Diego State with a girl. Can you tell us what that's about? Matt could have easily just said, well, yeah, Coach, I had sex with this girl at school, college, and I gave her chlamydia, and she's suing me. Oh, okay. Hello?
I didn't even know that part until you just said that, but
Oh,
Yeah.
She was 17. She was 17.
yeah, it's disgusting.
She's 17.
Now there is reports that she supposedly told everybody at the party that she went to the college, the local college, not the local high school. So he's basically, he could have also said that to McDermott. I find out now she's underage, but then she said she went to the college, so I didn't know. And there's so many ands, ifs, or buts. I'm just glad that we don't have to worry about it anymore.
It's over. Like I said, and this is the last time that you will hear this about this topic on this show, particularly. If somebody else want to drag it on and beat a dead horse, go ahead. But we've talked about it for about 20 minutes. That's the last time. We're moving on. It's over. Done. Done. So either way, that's pretty much our time tonight. Actually, I want to thank Sarah for coming on as a guest. Hopefully, we gotta get Sarah on more. Like I said, hopefully you enjoyed yourself tonight. Like I told you,
I did. I mean, I love you guys, so of course I love just chit chatting. So have me on again. I have a lot of fun.
Whenever you're not traveling, like I said, we talked. And it's funny because me and Sarah were talking. I'm like, hey, I want to get you on this show, and she's like, listen, shows really don't work well with my travel schedule, and I'm like. Yeah, they don't work well with my schedule either. I do it on Tuesday nights at 9:30 because I'm free every Tuesday. Sister, that'll work perfectly. So I hope we get Sarah on most of the season with us. But if you guys didn't see, I'm gonna put this up again. The Mafia Homecoming Party with Eric Wood, hosted by Eric Wood, and I am the co-owner of this party, so it's gonna be a banger as always. Friday, October 7th, 6 p.m. at Resurgence Brewing Company in Buffalo. We got a lot of things planned. You're not going to miss this. And if you didn't hear me earlier, I personally did it. I didn't get any authorization from my partners. I did it, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it. But that's okay because y'all my people, and I love y'all. I've released a promo code for 10% off. This promo code is going to go until Friday at midnight. The promo code for 10% off for this year's Mafia Homecoming Party is Bigger, Better, Buffalo, one word. Bigger, Better, Buffalo. So if you want 10% off, put that code in and it shall work. Yeah, if anybody questions you, just tell me Jeremy sent you. That's all. But yeah, I hope to see all you guys there at that party this year. Like I said, we had fun the first 2 years, and hope to see everybody there. Just I like to get everybody together. That's the reason for this party. I want media there. I want fans there. I want to get everybody together. I know there's been a lot of toxicity, if you want to call it that, through the Bills and, over the last couple months. Let's just come together. Let's have a good time. It's 4's open bar, so you can get your drink on. Let's drink. We got a barbecue buffet there this year, so you get your eat on, and let's have a good time and relax and come back to earth. As hopefully the Bills at that point in time are 4-0.
4 hours open bar?
4 hours open bar.
Okay, so Uber as well.
yeah, Uber as well. Yes, Uber as well. So, but I want to get you guys' final thoughts, Sarah, before we take off. Final thoughts of the trim of the roster, and anything else you'd like to talk about real quick.
I'm just excited. I think we're going to see a lot more changes, though, over the next couple of days when moves are going to be made with the IR and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. And I head out on Sunday to head over to LA. So if anyone's going to be in LA, send me a quick message, and I look forward to meeting people.
Safe travels, by the way. Muki Hawkins, final thoughts. Are you feeling a little bit better? So we got the OJ Howard thing out now. We feeling a little bit better now.
Listen, go check out my man Jay Skursky article on Buffalo News. He's breaking down the tight ends.
Okay,
great article. But I mean, all right, we're off to the Rams. All right, and hey, first 7 games of the season. It's probably the toughest 7 games of anybody's schedule that the Bills do have. So now let's put up a shut-up time. You got your 53-man roster. Let's put up a shut-up time. I'm really intrigued to see who the Giants do snatch, if they do snatch anybody, because I know me and Bean was talking one day about it. Bean a cusser. He's a little cusser there. And he's talking about Joe. Joe better not touch none of his effing players. There's going to be a problem. He's not going to help Joe effing asses when he need him. So, Joe, you listening? Don't. Brandon Bean is painting the picture. Don't mess with that paint, okay? All right? Don't mess with the painting, Joe. You're going to need him down the line. But I want to see how many guys the Bills do bring back and how many guys they're going to bring in from other teams. I mean, you got to look out for that, too. You get some veterans that do get released. It was mostly punters, though. How ironic is that? But
we got enough punters, yeah.
Yeah, plethora of punters, but some notables I think that could be interested in. Jerron Davis, about a linebacker from Detroit. You got Bam Johnson.
No, we got enough DNs, man.
Carolina, he got released, so could be another reunion and a guy with some familiarity, stash him away on the practice squad. So I look forward to seeing what who's going to come off that waiver wire and what the practice squad is going to be looking like. Now we know what the team is looking like, but
they'll pick up a couple people from the offensive line to bring over. I don't think they'll re-sign too many of the people we cut for offensive line.
Yeah.
I think Alex Anderson and Tenuta
he's the only person they
Bills
mentioned.
normally draft, good enough to, they don't really cut draft picks. And if it is, it's 1 or 2. This year was only 1, Tenuta. So, Araiza, if you count that. But 9 times out of 10, they keep their draft picks. Let's look at Tommy Sweeney. He was a 7th-round draft pick, still on the roster.
James Mallory, final. Oh, before we go to Sarah, who do you think they're going to sign for a punter?
I mean, I think I want it to either be Kern or Martin, but those are going to cost us. So I don't know if we even have the funds to do it. But those are the 2 that I have it down to that I would
Muki,
like.
who you think?
We gave $3 million. We just gave OJ Howard $3 million.
Who you think gonna be the damn punter, Muki?
I'm gonna be the punter. Matt Barkley gonna be the damn punter.
Right?
Yeah. You said it first. They ain't gonna be punting. No, they ain't gonna be punting all like that. No way. So
I mean, he averaged like
a guy
40
with a strong
yards.
leg. It could be Marquette King. It could be Jay Leno. Whoever. Somebody could bring Mormon back. You know what I mean? Hey.
Mormon punted today.
He strong
put a
leg.
video out.
Kicking this weather.
Yeah. I would have loved to see Marquette King just come and kick. That would have been cool to see. He's been out of the NFL for a little bit though, but
yeah. I don't know. James Mallory, final thoughts, James.
I'm interested to see. I think it's going to be 2 more moves, at least, to the 53-man roster. I'm interested to see what those are going to be. Obviously, we're going to add a punter. Brett Kern, I don't think he's going. I mean, to come home, and he already got paid. He already had guaranteed money from Tennessee, so it's not like he's leaving empty-handed. So if he take a veteran minimum deal here, he still got, I think it was like 2.5 from Tennessee.
Mhm.
Still, like he's playing for peanuts. He's playing for a decent amount. So I'm thinking Kern. Played against him in high school too. So I'm thinking
Right.
Kern. And I'm not on the black shear thing like everybody else is. I don't know about that. Because when I look at the team, Taiwan Jones made the team. Right?
Why? Elite gunner.
Yeah, elite gunner, right? Then you look at James Cook, Zach Moss, Singletary. So you got 4 running backs. It was already reported that they want to bring Duke Johnson back. That means you will have 5 running backs in practice. The black shears, that would be 6. You don't even have enough practice reps for them guys. So I don't know if you really even bring him back. I think he probably goes to another team. Somebody sign him to practice.
Black shear, right?
Yeah.
Because Duke's your insurance policy.
He's here for audition, in my opinion. So I'm interested to see who else they kind of bring on, like Muki said, from other teams onto the practice squad. I would love to see Hodges come back, but I think he's going to get picked up.
Selfishly, right? You know?
Yeah. I think Nick will pick up because he's versatile. He can play safety and corner. So, I like what I've seen so far. So, in the line, we got more. The linebacker position was a little bit interesting to me. So that's cool. So I'm not really too mad about that. I thought OJ Howard. I didn't think they would cut OJ Howard, Muki. But yeah. So let's see what happens over the next few days. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I know we had a couple questions. Anything on Jay Hayton? Nothing right now. I heard nothing on that. Marquette King. Like I said, me and Marquette spent about 30 minutes writing that tweet the other day. And if you don't believe me, you can check in with him and fact check it. We work together very, very closely. Marquette King is a very good friend of mine, almost like a cousin or brother. So he's going to do very well in the XFL, and he'll be one of the faces of the new XFL because he was becoming one of the faces of the old XFL. So good luck to Marquette over there. And, I would love him in Buffalo, but we know that's not going to happen. And by the way, Ryan Tapple's report was partially true. It was true. I mean, it's not partially. It was true. The Bills did call his agent, see if he was in game shape. They did do their due diligence, but they did not ask him to come in for a tryout. So just give that heads up and give you a little insight information there. And then so we answered the punter question for everybody. I think he's gonna be Brett Kern. I'm with Mike back. What are you waiting for? Weighing options. This is Buffalo, and I'm gonna say this on record right now. This is August 30th at 11:05 p.m. My hot take for the season is if the Bills win the Super Bowl, I know we have Josh Allen, I know we have Stephon Diggs, but the reason we're going to win the Super Bowl when we do is because of that 3-headed monster at running back that we have with Singletary, Moss, and Cook. You may not see it right now, but there's going to be a game in January. It's going to be a game in February that those 3 boys are going to run us to a ring. Just wait and you see. That's going to be very problematic for teams coming down the stretch. Very problematic. I'm going to book that. But other than that, I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. James Mallory, Muki Hawkins, Sara Larson. We definitely got to have Sarah back. She fit in right in with us tonight. It was good. It was good having a lady on too. Because like I said, we think that we were saying before the show, the women in Bills Mafia don't get enough credit for not just being fans of the team, but being analysts of the team just like the men.
Absolutely.
So if we could spotlight more women like Sarah out here, and like I said, Sarah's checked me on a lot of shit. That's how a lot of people have come on my show because people have checked me. That's how I met my guy Travis Blakesley, I met Clayton Garrett, I met Mud Dog, Leroy Winslow. All the people who work for me in the cold front have checked me and corrected me on something to the point we went at it. And then that's how I bring people in. And Mallory used to check me on a lot of stuff. So that's how I meet my people. And you always got to say, you always got to work with people that are smarter than you. That's people make people like that make you look smart. So I'm glad I have 3 of you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll be back I'll be back next Tuesday. Sarah, you probably won't be because you'll be traveling and all that
I
type
will
of.
be in LA. Yeah.
So, other than that, guys, as always, stay safe out there, and we almost here for football. Mafia Party, October 7th. Resurgence Brewing. Make sure you're there if you're a Bills fan. If you're not, then I'm just going to disown you. But other than that, now, everybody have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Catch you next time. Peace.